All right, welcome back to the podcast.
That was weird.
We're back.
For those that are just listening,
We did it.
we're not in the Animal Crossing world anymore. Somehow we're back in real life.
Oh God, this is scary the real world. I do like what you did with the studio, though.
Not much.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hey everyone. It's been been a really long time.
Year and a half since we did a face-to-face.
Yeah,
podcast.
face-to-face podcast.
Yeah.
But we're back, I guess. So here we are. So if
Feels good.
this is your
Feels
first
good.
time listening to the podcast, welcome to the Bacon Bits podcast featuring a ton of bacon and
What's up?
myself, 8-Bit Kevin.
What's up?
Uh,
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Mainly because one, we haven't done this in a while, like together face to face. But of course, it feels like it's like our first time again, kind of deal.
yeah, it's weird.
But we hope to do more of this in the future. And again, Animal Crossing podcasts are still like a possibility
Yeah,
because we've noticed that our lives have gotten so much more busier.
yeah. I mean, we're older now. We have jobs. We have other things going on. Other obligations.
You know, just pretty much gotta crunch through a whole forgotten year of just stuff. But one thing we were all looking forward to talking about was the Demon Slayer movie, which is
Yeah.
why you guys clicked on the video. We're gonna talk about the Demon Slayer movie.
Demon Slayer movie. So with the Demon Slayer movie, I'm sure all of you know by this time, or at this point, it was a movie that was announced, excuse me, pre-pandemic.
Oh,
And
man.
during the pandemic, it was kind of shaky whether or not it was going to be in theaters. Then
It
it
was-
finally hit theaters in Japan. It broke box office records in Japan. It's like the #1 animated or anime movie in Japan or something like that.
Was that for the year or?
I think of all time. Of all time, it broke records. It was
Really?
it was so phenomenal. There was so much hype. There was so much.
So beyond
advertising for
beyond
it.
Ghibli, One Piece.
Yeah, it beat Spirited Away. It even
Really?
beat
Yeah,
Your
what?
Name.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It was a worldwide phenomena, and good for Demon Slayer. You did it. You beat records that we didn't think you were gonna beat.
Congratulations, Demon Slayer! You won anime.
I guess so. Good job, Ufotable, for what you've done for Demon Slayer.
Well, the thing is, I acknowledge because after watching the entire series, I acknowledge Demon Slayer is a great series. I had fun watching it, seeing the movie highlights of or the trailer upcoming. I was really excited. Of course, I've told you this before. My only complaint was people kind of standing above everyone else of saying Demon Slayer is the GOAT now, we're at the very top kind of deal. And I'm like, that's a stretch. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of recency bias there, but you had that 1 week where Demon Slayer's manga took over sales for One Piece for a week or two, right?
It was doing really well.
Yeah.
Doing really, really well.
And it was outrageous because people are like, oh, we dethroned One Piece. And it's just well, yeah, but
I guess.
One Piece has been there for how long? And
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going nowhere. But this isn't a podcast about One Piece. It's a podcast about Demon Slayer. As much as of a One Piece fan I am.
Are we going to do a One Piece episode in the future?
We can do one, but
Oh, we
we're going to
will.
talk about Demon Slayer right now. It did a great job with its numbers. We don't want to take away from that. No matter how you feel about Demon Slayer, regardless of whether you think it's a good, mid, bad series, you can't deny the fact that the movie did really well, and good for them. Good for Demon Slayer. Good for the fans. Good for that fandom. Good job.
I mean, it's good momentum for the future too,
Yeah.
because it'll get more people into it, and you see it right off the bat. It's one of the most talked about series right now when you think about it, and we went shopping out today, and I just saw on most bookshelves at the very front of the entrance. That's how we were trying to feature everything. I just saw so much Demon Slayer stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's how you kind of confirm that it's the
Yeah, I mean,
right now.
it's hot right now. You got to strike while it's hot, and definitely all the stores that have Demon Slayer merch are striking because they need to sell this stuff while it is hot.
right.
And I guess with that being said, with how hot the movie is, a lot of U.S. fans, prior to its release, were asking, when is it going to come here? When are we going to see it? Because a lot of people were worried about spoilers, and Season 2 had gotten announced without an announcement for whether or not the movie was coming to the West.
Yeah.
And finally, it did. And for those who are following it, It came to theaters first, which was kind of in a way controversial because we're still within this pandemic, regardless of how you feel about mask, not mask, vaccines, or whatever.
Man,
we're still within a pandemic.
I'm against going to like an anime movie even before pandemic. First of all, like it just being in the movie theater, of course, being around everyone, it's a great atmosphere. Like we saw the Konosuba movie together, and it was great. But sometimes it smells a little too much. But moving on, I was against seeing the movie in theaters. I'm sure
I was,
and so that was our decision. I didn't feel like I was missing much. I was never spoiled because I've been just so
fortunately enough, because it wasn't online at the time, there wasn't really any spoilers other than the people who may have seen it somehow.
Right.
But
I don't think there really was a that.
Yeah, there wasn't. I wasn't too concerned about it until it got announced that yes, it got to theaters, and then there was going to be a digital release, which I think happened recently.
Oh, you're going to go into this one?
Yeah, something else that happened too is that Funimation, I don't know who did it, but someone accidentally released the movie.
Hero did it.
They accidentally released the movie on the PlayStation Network store, and a lot of people got to it before they ended up taking it down. So they bought the movie, they had it, and it started to spread like wildfire. At that point, I was really worried about spoilers, other than like manga spoilers, but at least like seeing like GIFs of what was happening in the movie. So.
Right.
I found it. I got it. I watched it. Yes, boo piracy, whatever. But I feel like this was
discussion for
this was an unprecedented moment where it was such a hyped movie, and I didn't want to get spoiled. I didn't want to stay off social media.
The only way to protect yourself from spoilers is to just watch it. That's why I always make the joke of like, what's spoiler proof? Consuming every piece of content out there. And it's like no one has that time, but for us, yes, we did watch it in that form, and I'm not sorry, but overall it was good timing, and I'm kind of glad that I did watch it like this early, because if we're talking like really strike while the iron's hot, if you want to talk hot, man, let's talk about that Hashira dude with the freaking blonde hair. First of all, that dude's gaze. What's his name? We're so bad with
Rengoku.
Thank you. I'm terrible with names. So, for some reason, this is the one where like I had the hardest time with names. Rengoku, dude, he emanates an aura. You could pick him up and put him in another shonen anime. He'd be the main character.
Dude, he's very much fitting to his fire Hashira title, where he's just red hot. His personality is glowing.
Like justice.
He's like, very straightforward and so like I don't know. Just you can't. Keep your eyes off him. He's just he's such a great character.
He can't keep his eyes off forward. Whatever. just the first impressions with him, like even in the series, you could just clearly tell he's just someone that it's someone you can't really hate, but you're willing to follow.
Personally, I had mixed feelings about the Hashira when I first met them. Obviously, they were introduced as like these characters that looked down on Tanjiro and looked down on Nezuko because she was a demon. And so my first impression of them was like, oh man, these people kind of are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But then seeing Rengoku in his in this movie really changed my mind, like gave complete 180, and I really enjoyed his character. Yeah.
Just him.
So far, just him, but this also kind of opened it up for other characters. I mean, Shinobu kind of also did a 180 within the first season, but that was like the only real, I guess, Hashira, or the first Hashira we saw at the time.
Right.
And seeing the rest of them still kind of, I feel like they're still hesitant towards Tanjiro and Nezuko. So
as they should.
Exactly.
Right.
But the thing was, Rengoku, because they accepted Nezuko in the end, he became very accepting. He's like, I'm not going to challenge you or anything like that.
I mean, I like his feelings on it. He basically said anyone who fights for the side of the humans is someone that's welcome into the corps. Yeah. And I think that's the point of the corps.
Yeah, what a great guy.
Yeah, sure. She's a demon. We should kill all demons, but she's a demon that has shown that she wants to protect humans. And in reality, if you're willing to fight and protect those who are weaker than you, which is what he strived for, which is what I love most about him, then he has no reason to hate her. And I was like, that's someone that has so much honor and respect within him. It's like, how can you hate this guy? I can't really think of like as much technically in this entire series, as much little time he had with us.
Yeah.
I know. Spoilers, by the way.
Oh, yeah, spoilers. Why are you watching this if you haven't watched the movie yet? There's obvious spoilers here. So
there's got to be like...
we're definitely going to spoil this entire movie.
There's 3 fans that are like, I just want to hear Bacon and Kevin talk. And just like,
okay, whatever.
Thank you for acknowledging us. But with the little time he was with us, I mean, he was able to really fill every second on the screen was something that we could really just eat up and absorb, which is great. You know,
I think we'll get to that point when we get there, but when we talk about the backstory stuff, I think that really helped us connect with his character and really made him more meaningful to us.
Right.
I guess when we get to that point.
Yeah, when we dig deeper into it.
Yeah, when we dig deeper.
There were points I was just like, man, like this is a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is someone that who really sticks out in my mind. When I think Demon Slayer, he's almost the first thing I think of now.
Oh, okay.
Because how do you forget those eyes?
Yeah. Oh, okay. First of all, so what was we talked about Rengoku and our impressions of him, and I guess what we had seen from him before. What were your impressions, or what were you expecting going into Mugen Train before we actually start deep diving into like what actually happened?
Like going into it, I was kind of surprised that the setting itself kind of weirded me out a bit. Like it's all on a train, and I thought to myself like, okay, when I see most anime movies, the setting tends to be a little more broad.
Yeah, it's like a world or something, or
land.
Or like with One Piece, it's like a whole island or something like that.
Yes, or we're in another dimension, or in a setting that's written from the ground up. This one was on just a piece of transportation, which reminds me of like
very unique.
Yeah, it's like an arc in JoJo, where in JoJo they're like, hey, this 3-part fight is all on a train. And, you know, it made sense there, but here it's like this whole movie's on a train.
Yeah, but it intrigued you.
Yeah.
I felt similar to that, where I was like, dang, how are you going to have this whole setting in just one place?
Right. In a moving place. And it made sense because then I was finally reminded on the reason, because they said, oh, there's been disappearances on this train. I was like, okay. I thought they were traveling to a location where there was like a big demon infestation, but they're like, no, people aren't making it through this ride, so we're going to ride it.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be some sort of like, what was it? I forgot. He's the one with the drums and stuff. I thought it was going to be like one location where, I guess, dimensions and stuff like don't make sense, you know? Like,
right.
Like, but at the same time, I guess going into the movie, like when the characters when Tanjiro and crew were getting on board, which first of all, hilarious that Inosuke just thought it was a giant beast and he just wanted to race it, which was funny to me.
I think that's what we needed from the series from the beginning too, was like same antics from all 3 of these guys. Zenitsu being a coward and so forth. Yeah. So we always need that.
Yeah, but what I thought was like really weird was, to me, like knowing the fact, like you had mentioned, that there were disappearances and stuff, and you would think that with that kind of news that this train had disappeared, like why were people going on board this train? Like, knowing,
I never
like there were a ton of people on that train, and it's like, are you that desperate to get to where you need to go?
It's like, I'm not gonna have
disappearances. Like, yeah, like if I knew if there was an airplane that was like notorious for like people disappearing, I'm like, no, I'm staying off that plane.
That's exactly like the Bill Burr bit that he talks about in his stand up. He's like, look, if you would have said 3 out of 4 parachutes actually open, I'm not going. It's true. Like, yeah, so people ride this train. Oh, out of 100 people, 90 make it.
Just imagine, like, 10%, like going up to the ticket saying, like, yeah, can I get a ticket for this train? Like, are you sure? Like, there have been so many disappearances. Maybe, like, not, like, 1 out of 10 people make it off this train. Are you sure? Yeah, I need to go grocery shopping or something. I need a business. It's like, what? Like, I don't know.
I mean, that's the kind of world that was. Like, come on, like Tanjiro went out just to sell coal, and his whole family got slaughtered. So it's like that Donald Glover bit where it's like back in the day. It's like, well, what do you expect of your family dying? It's nighttime. So it's like let it ride, dude. I might die. I might not make it back. So,
but yeah, that was like the weird thing. Is like people were just so okay with going on this train, very well knowing that people disappear on it. But I guess
for the plot.
But I guess as for the plot, we're gonna move forward, and
train's moving forward.
And we got Tanjiro and crew on the train again, meeting Rengoku. We talked about our impressions of him.
Umai.
Umai. And so I just thought it was interesting. I didn't really know how the movie was gonna like ramp up to what was going on until we realized that again, or not again, but we realized that they have fallen asleep and they're going through their dreams.
Right off the bat, when like he slayed those like imaginary demons and then they're all asleep, I was like, oh yes, I've seen this before. Genjutsu, Naruto, I've seen this before.
But I mean, like, did Rengoku's dream trick you at all? Like, was it not obvious until the point where he was like, teach us, Rengoku, teach us.
I mean, I started thinking. I thought during that moment when they were all like, yeah, we did it. I thought an even bigger enemy came in, but came in a different form. But I thought at that very moment, that's when like the big bad enemy was gonna like kill him off like right there. I was waiting for the curveball, but the curveball was them asleep. I thought the curveball was gonna be like my brother calls the main bad guy. Who's the main bad guy?
I don't remember his name, honestly.
So here's what my brother labels him. He calls him Michael Jackson. So he's
that's my villain.
That's why. I thought he was gonna come out of nowhere and just slice the Hashira's head off, but they're asleep, and I was like, okay, sorry, that was just a really random thought. But when it made that little curveball and they're all asleep, it's just like, well, it kind of gave you that whole viewer of like, of course it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
Of course it's not going to be like, oh yeah, we slayed the demons and now the real battle is off the train kind of deal. The only thing that kind of made me laugh was when the guy who crimped their tickets, and then right when he cut the tickets, the
train conductor,
the train conductor, and that's when the fight started, and then we find out later on that that's what caused them to fall asleep.
Yeah.
When that dude walked in my mind, I'm like, doesn't he look a little...
Yeah, he was hella shady.
Yeah, and I was like...
But the thing is, that's from our perspective that he was shady. Maybe to them, he wasn't as shady,
But I would expect
maybe he was just some quiet, stern dude.
Yeah, that's true, but like, I feel like they always sell Tanjiro's sense of smell so much. I'm just like, he's got to sense that. And I assume Hashira would have that kind of... ability just to be like, something doesn't feel right with this
but you
guy.
also have to remember, well, didn't Tanjiro have like a slight scent of something? He just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, which was the blood on the tip or whatever. Yeah, it's always that thing of, I know there's something wrong, I just don't know, which is more than enough to be like, okay, there's something going on here. I guess I'm being a little too confident in their abilities of like...
Well, you also have to remember that they're newbies.
Yeah,
right?
They're newbies.
And so they're still learning, but I guess kind of deep diving, like we have Zenitsu's dream, which is basically him and Nezuko.
Remember, these are the embodiment of what's deep in their hearts. Deepest.
And then freaking Inosuke, like with Tanjiro, and then
I'm
like
the leader.
And like, I'm the leader.
Yeah, we're gonna fight this. And it's like a train lizard.
Yeah.
I was like...
And then we finally get to Tanjiro's. And he reunites with his family. And to me, I thought that was one of the hardest things for that character to go through.
The thing about Tanjiro as a main character is like, I get his type of honor and valor kind of character. Like everyone views him as such a...
He's such a kind character.
He's such a kind character. And it's almost to a fault, which I think is the point of it. On my end, it gets kind of annoying sometimes because I'm just like, dude, this guy is basically like Jesus, man. Like, he's just so kind, loving, caring, does everything so selflessly, which is good. So deep in his heart, like you saw, because remember the people sneaking in to break the core or whatever it's called. He sees his family. That's what he wants deep in his heart. And when you get to the core of his heart, you just see like, it looks like heaven.
It's so pure.
Yeah, and it's just so striking to me because it's like this character is just so on
absurdly
a level.
Kind.
Yeah, absurdly kind. And I've seen characters like this in anime all the time, and it always seems to stick out to me where it's like, I feel like him being so kind is like gonna be something that works against him in the future.
Sure, I can see that.
Like look at Vash's Stampede from Trigun. He refuses to kill anyone, even when his best friends are in danger. So Tanjiro, is he going to do the same thing? We don't know. So I thought that was interesting, but in my opinion, when it comes to characters, it gets a little annoying where I'm just like, I get it. You're pure-hearted in every way possible. I get it, but that's what saved him because the kid that was about to break, he's like, I can't do it. Like, you guys have been so warm and nice to me, and like I feel so like light.
Yeah.
And it just freaks me out, kind of like, are you saying if I like hang out with Tanjiro, like like all my sins will be purged? Like,
I mean, I think the assumption is that as the story progresses, these characters who have interacted with Tanjiro become better people throughout.
it's almost like Luffy from One Piece. Anyone who knows how to say Luffy becomes friends, and they're like, "You're not that guy," and you're.
But I mean, that I feel like that's also a very typical shonen trope. You interact with the main character, you become a better person.
Right.
And through this, it's hard too because Tanjiro is such a nice person, and you know he does feel this guilt from losing his family, and he obviously feels this ownership to that guilt, and he feels like it's his fault that his family's gone. And then seeing him with his family, and like, did that hurt you? Like that hurt me seeing him with his family again.
So it did hurt me, because I feel like what was hurting me was the fact that he was so acceptant right off the bat. Like he was just like, I'm dreaming, and it's like I don't think he knew it was. Obviously, he didn't know it was a dream for the beginning, but once he awoke and he saw his family, he immediately accepted it.
He knew what needed to be done. That's the thing. Like he knew he couldn't stay in that.
It was a form of denial, probably. Where like, dude, everything's great. Like Netsuko's here, my mom's here, my brothers are here. I don't know what I was doing outside with that sword. That's scary, and let's do this. And he was living his life, and it's that feeling of like satisfaction. I'm okay with this everyday thing. I'm okay with what's going on with my life, not with what's going on with the world, kind of deal. And that to me was scary because it's easy for humans when we finally find a flow that we love so much. It's hard to break out of that.
Yeah,
we're asking Tanjiro to literally leave his family,
leave his family again.
Yeah, again, and you know this. To tell him that obviously with someone so pure is kind of hard, or like telling yourself that where it's like, hey dude, this doesn't exist, this isn't real as much as you want it to be real, and that's what hurt. Now the actual action,
oh my god, so
the actual action of that wasn't as painful. I was thinking of something darker, but I'll let you go first.
So when, I mean, to me, I think that it was a little obvious in a way of how he was supposed to leave this world. Like,
really?
Like,
I was thinking of something way darker.
I mean, in a sense that, like, oh, like he had to kill his family.
Yes, yes. So
no, how dare you?
I'm sorry, but like when he needs to break out of the dream, and like when the real Tanjiro was in the water, he's like, "You gotta wake up, man." In my mind, right away, I was like, "You gotta kill your family, bro." But then when he's like, "Oh, you gotta kill yourself and run away," I was like,
"Okay, so yeah,
that would have been really brutal."
You're so bad.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, honestly, though, I feel like I could have seen it going in that direction, provided that for some reason his family turned into like regular demons and were trying to kill him and stuff. I feel like it could have gone in that direction, but. Okay. In the end, he had to kill himself to snap out of the dream, and just the willpower and the focus and the willingness to leave not only leave your family again after you've been reunited with them, and it feels so nice to be with them again after so long.
Right.
But you have to kill yourself to leave them, and the iron will to just that resolve to just cut your neck. And it's the scary part too to me is that it wasn't one time; it was consistently.
Oh, that's where I really puckered.
He had to do it every single time, and to me, like, it's one of those moments. I don't read the manga, so I don't know if this is ever going to touch base on this at all. But to me, I feel like this is one of those moments where if you were to explore it, it would be interesting is exploring the ramifications of that trauma of seeing your family again and having to consistently kill yourself over and over and over. Like, I feel like that's pretty traumatic.
Right.
And I wonder how that would affect his character, though I don't know if the manga touches base on that.
I feel like it'd be really hard to sleep at that point, and you know, I mean, it's really messed up in terms of how that ended. Obviously, cowardly, the main enemy, in terms of just like locking him in a dream that they like, and then they have to break out of it, kind of deal. I always thought that was. It's exactly what Tanjiro said during the battle. It's like, how dare you disrespect my family like that?
Yeah.
When he started playing with the dreams and changing the dreams from good dreams to nightmares. Like, you did this.
It's like
you did this.
He made a big mistake by altering the personalities of his family.
Right.
Because he knew, like, why would you do that? Like,
right. So that was good resolve on Tanjiro's end, which is one thing I was very proud of. I was like, yeah, like obviously I now know I am dreaming because I know deep in my heart my family would never say that to me. And it's like that makes a lot of sense. I really like that. So I like how they sprinkled that in there.
Yeah. So I guess baddie, I guess the first baddie in this movie, the whole train thing. How did you feel about him?
To be honest, kind of forgettable name. First of all, forgettable. Sorry, but
I mean, we're kind of just bad with names in general.
Dude, our anime like dead rights are really weak right now. We've been busy with
when you watch a lot of anime and read a lot of manga and deal with real life, this stuff slips your mind. Okay?
All I know, he is just one of the lower demons. But the personality he has, I felt pretty generic. Kind of like the whole like, oh, you should feel good kind of deal, like accept death. I'm like, again, I've seen this kind of before. I can't put my finger on what kind of character in anime has had those type of monologues, but I've seen it before. In terms of like over time, in terms of like fighting and like controlling people, pretty standard. It got really weird when like
the whole train.
Yeah, he took it over like a mutant and like started going.
Like basically said, this whole train is my body.
And I was like, what? Because I think like just all the demons is again shown it. We need to know what your power is, what's your thing. And I thought that was his only thing, which was I'm going to control your dreams, put you to sleep, and then slit your throat. Now I could not only control dreams, but I could morph my body with inanimate objects and become a giant Gundam. And I'm like, what? I mean, it was a little all over the place. Was he a good villain? I would say no, but he was a villain that fit this scenario.
Yeah, I didn't really care too much for this villain that much because like he just was kind of there for me. The fight, I mean, I guess the fight itself to defeat him was fairly interesting in a sense that again Tanjiro had to constantly kill himself to defeat this person.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was a little odd to me. I mean, I guess humans are a bit they're desperate and I feel like this character wouldn't have been able to maybe scratch that. I was gonna say I wouldn't have felt like this character would have or this villain would have been able to do what they have done if the conductors were not willing to sacrifice other people for their own gains.
Right. Yeah, because like all of them can't sleep and have good dreams.
But the thing is, this is also a demon with this kind of power, so maybe he could have done it regardless. Just did them kind of a favor in the end or whatever.
Well, I guess they were trying to make it to show how sadistic and crazy that demon was.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm controlling you. God, I love doing this and seeing you have a good dream, but then very last second give you a nightmare as your last vision before you die. Like I love that, and that's what's supposed to kind of like increase our hatred for that demon.
And this was like the first 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. If there's one thing I'd like to point out in all the midst of this, as funny as the hearts of everyone was, freaking the Hashira's heart was something I was not surprised of. You go in there and it was just flames.
Yeah,
and they're like, it's so hot here. There's so much like tension and so much valor, and all of a sudden when that girl was about to break it, he just knew right away like something's wrong, then just started choking her, still asleep. And like I was just like, attaboy. I was just like, you're not taking him out like that. That would have been the worst way to go out, where you go out in your sleep, which by the way, like none of them succeeded. Dying in your sleep, I'm not saying that's like in shonen standards a lame way to go out, but it's like, no, you're not going to take on my boys like that in their sleep.
I mean, now that you mention it, what was another thing leading up to this movie? Thanks to like the manga fans, like there was not really that much surprise going into this movie. I feel like everyone had this feeling like shit was going to go down and pretty much Rengoku was going to die. I mean, I don't think anyone was surprised because the manga fans were hyping it up so much. Like that's kind of the worst part of any sort of fandom, especially leading up to anime type stuff with anime onlys. It's like people are like, oh no, this is coming up.
No, that's the thing.
No.
Like we're not dumb. If I'm going through a Twitter feed or some sort of feed online and I see a picture and it just says their name, what do you think I'm gonna think?
Yeah.
Like, like just the name, and you just see them like in a peaceful smile. What do you think I'm gonna think? Oh, it was a great episode. He ate dinner. No, he probably didn't make it. And
I mean, you guys didn't really leave much to the imagination.
Yeah, it's just, and that's why I don't care much for social media anymore. It's just like meh.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking to get the first post or whatever.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's just I want to be the first one to let everyone else know that I was hurt. But everyone was hurt by this. You know, you're not the only one. And I don't know. Like there are other things to talk about.
But I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So Tanjiro and then defeat this demon.
I puckered up really hard though. Because you start to realize midway during battle, falls asleep, kill, and then start getting happen quicker.
Oh, and then to the point where he almost actually killed himself.
You got so used to it, and then thank goodness he was saved.
That was really
scary. I was like, he's gonna do it.
That was a good trick though. Like out of everything, I thought like
clever.
That was pretty clever. Like to trick him to thinking that he still need to snap out of the dream, but good thing
because like it's mere seconds. Like if you were to see this all in one smooth motion, he would fall asleep and then like keep going, and so he had to figure it out within a split second.
He had to.
You're in a dream.
Go through this motion.
You're in a dream. And so it was. I thought that was really cool. I was really shocked on how hard it was to even wake them up in the first place when Nezuko went as much as headbutting Tanjiro. Because in my mind, I'm like, wake up. Oh, okay, they're really out, kind of deal. And then again, Zenitsu clearly sensing that Nezuko was in trouble. But
he was still asleep. Still asleep. Like he does.
Isn't that the only way he could activate his speed too?
Yeah, he can only really do stuff while he's asleep.
Okay. I mean, I think that's surprisingly we really didn't get much from him. We just got the same gimmick all the way.
But that's his thing. He really does the one thing right.
Yeah, he does one thing right when we need him most. So that's why out of all characters so far in Demon Slayer, my guy is the boarhead.
Oh, Inosuke,
dude, that's my guy. Like just pure like tenacity and reflex and all that stuff. And like finally when they mentioned it, because in the back of my mind I was like, he's probably not falling asleep because you don't know where his eyes are. And then finally they mentioned it, like the enemy was like, I can't even get the time down. I can't put him to sleep because of that stupid forehead. I was like, yes, let's go. So I kind of knew. I was like, I don't think he's looking because those aren't his eyes. So I was just like, yes, Inosuke is my guy, man. Yeah. Like, so I'm behind him all the way on that stuff. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be the leader, man. You are the leader. You can do it.
Okay, so first 2/3 done. That was the train demon, and when they defeat him, and then all of a sudden, the real threat comes for the last third of the movie.
Hello.
And we had the whole display. I think the whole point of the movie wasn't Mugen Train in itself. It was this one fight, and it was the fight against this upper demon versus Rengoku. And it was an amazing fight. I was very impressed by this fight. So much went on, so much emotion. We got Rengoku's backstory about how he came up into the world and became an Hashira and stuff. And I really enjoyed his character moments. And, they really, within this short time, hour and a half runtime, they really made you care about Rengoku and really made what happened to him at the end, like something that hurt. And I like the fact that this upper demon just respected the heck out of him. The fact that he's like, come join me. I can turn you into a demon.
Right.
Just join our ranks. We can fight like this all the time.
Right. It's that feeling of like, God, like you have so much like strong potential. Imagine what you could be in the at the end of all this.
Yeah.
Which in most shonen anime series is an ongoing concept of like, I could give you more. You just need to give part of your sanity to me. And I always like that. And some people succumb to it very easily. Obviously the classic like Star Wars, Akuma, Ryu kind of deal, Sasuke, and it's really it just feels good seeing someone just be like, no, like I have enough, and I'll never join your side. Like someone who's still held to their guns to this day. And it was obvious, but it feels good seeing it in action.
Yeah, I mean, Rengoku has such a strong sense of justice that you knew he wouldn't commit to the other side. Right. But
no reason
you did. It was so satisfying to see him just be like, nope.
But that's the thing. It started to hurt over time because every time he kept on slicing parts of this demon and the recovery speed was so quick, I was like,
it was a matter of endurance.
Yeah, at that point. Like it sucks being a human in this scenario because we get tired, and every piece of damage we get, regardless of how good they breathe, it's gonna like hurt you over time. And end the fight, he looked beat up, like one eye, and the demon, he was just kind of like, dude, you all right? Like I'm gonna kill you right now if you don't join my side. And I was like in my mind, I was thinking like, dude, like this isn't good, man. Like, but he really didn't care, and he was just like, I'm not joining your side.
Yeah.
I fight for the weak. I don't need to be any stronger because I'm enough. And I was like, like I hate how you're doing this, man. I don't want to lose you here. Like, that's how I felt the whole time.
Because it sucks. It's like by this time you're so committed to Rengoku, you're so in love with his character, that it hurts to see and to know that he's slowly getting withered away. And oh man, that like that.
You start to see his gaze and like that confident smile in the very beginning start to fade, and that freaked me out right off the bat because we're so already in the movie we're so used to seeing that confidence, and when they start like losing and he starts trying
and also what is it, Inosuke, even Tanjiro and Inosuke, especially Inosuke, recognize like I have no space to come in, like to help him join in this. If I joined in, I would only slow him down and hurt him in the end,
get him killed,
and like we'd all die. And that was something I feel like was very I guess big of these characters to like be able to realize this fact that like I'm so weak that if I joined into this fight it'd only make things worse.
Right.
But the thing is, like, they were also so helpless, and that I think that's the other thing that hurt the most too, is knowing that they saw what we saw. They saw him tiring out. They saw that if this continued, he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah. And
all they wanted to do was to step in and somehow help him, but they couldn't. They just had to stand there and watch because that's all they could do.
Right. That's what's rough about that whole fight too, because it feels like we lost. We again, like, no, let's chalk it up to the demons. We pretty much lost more than what they lost. They lost a low demon. That's nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And when they emphasize at the very beginning of the movie that all the upper demons, they've been around for centuries and they've taken down like multiple Hashiras.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It's like, oh, Rengoku was just another one. And I was like,
another one bites the dust.
Yeah. And I was, so again, like, it's good that they're doing this in the form of a shonen because it makes sense. But it hurts knowing it's like, I look to the rest of the Hashiras now, I'm like, dude, no matter how badass you guys look and how fascinated I am by you guys, I don't think any of you guys got a chance. You got a lot to prove now that you lost someone as respectable as Rengoku. Because you could tell all of them were just like, damn it, like, we lost Rengoku. As if it almost felt like they lost like a leader. Because you could clearly,
they all had this bond.
Yeah, they had a bond, especially towards him. When you saw all the Hashiras together, Rengoku was up front, like standing right there. And in my mind, I thought to myself, like, he looks like the freaking senpai to all of them, man. Like, he looks like he's the one in charge, kind of deal. But then now that he's gone, it fatal blow to the Demon Slayer corpse. Mentally scary because you start to think now, can Tanjiro and the rest of the crew even like equal like to that? Are we time skipping again?
Like this isn't even like the biggest baddie. This is just one of his underlings.
That's one of them, and that's what sucks too because I thought they were at least gonna like get him or like stop him, but now like he's 100% now. The survived one fair and square. That's why I was just as angry when like the sun was coming up. I was like, okay, come on, like you could take him with you. I'll take a 1-for-1. Like when Goku gone, that's fine. We at least need a
but he got away.
And so I understood that emotion that Tanjiro was under. When he just threw his sword and he's just like, get back here, you coward. And the thing, I was like shouting to myself, I was like, bro, you demons talk as if like you're the greatest kind of beings of all time. But
as soon as the sun comes up.
Yeah, you're boastful, and yet you're scared of the sun. If anything, us humans are better because we're not afraid of this thing. Like, we fought on your turf for how long now? Yeah. And now you won't fight on our turf? And it's just like, that's the thing.
Like, just that sense of defeat that Tanjiro had,
and he lost his sword, man.
He lost his sword, dude.
This is the most lost weapons I've seen in a shonen.
that was tough though. Just seeing Tanjiro like just be so helpless. Like, he wanted to fight for Rengoku, get the revenge for him, but he couldn't.
Yeah,
the guy had to run away because the sun.
God. That's the thing, we fought on their turf all the time. They always get advantage, man. It's not fair. But I can understand like the frustration. But like, I really like Rengoku in terms of like he was trying his best to pass on something to everyone else because he's like, hey man, like I'm not gonna make it, so just hear me out, which is hard. Again, sad. But the thing I like most that I'm not sure if he said to Tanjiro and them was I love his backstory with like what his mother said to him. He's always like, hey, like, why am I like this? Like, why do strong people like me exist? It's like, no, you're here to fight for those who can't fight. And I'm like, that's one thing I'm always for when it comes to any strong character, because a lot of people tend to like enjoy strong characters that are more about themselves, because it's a little something different. But what I liked about Rengoku was he's there because he knew deep in his mind, it's like, if I wasn't here, like Tanjiro and everyone else aren't going to make it. Like they're going to get killed right here. So I had to do something. Because when you think about it, if Rengoku died before the sun came up,
everyone else is dead.
That upper was going to slaughter him for sure. So I think deep in his mind, he's like, I need to do something to protect him. Like I got to do something because we're going to lose a lot more than just me. So it was a lot of painful stuff. But again, in this movie, like, demons won again. Another one for the cemetery.
But I guess the train is safe.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're probably going to put more demons on the train to go kill them. That's the thing. It's like, in terms of the future now for Demon Slayer, in my opinion, because I'm not sure if I'm ever going to pick up the manga or not, it's looking pretty bleak for the Hashiras. And, well, of course, I am fascinated by them. I do want to see all of them kind of let loose, especially after this, Like, I don't know, there's 5 uppers or whatnot, and they're all, like, pretty well versed, I assume. That first guy, he was straight hand-to-hand combat, which is my favorite type of fighting style shown. And any guy that does, like, martial arts or something like that is always, like, fascinating to me. So that guy, I was kind of like, yeah, he's pretty badass, man. Yeah, he got us, man. I'll give you that one. But damn it, I hate you so much.
I agree. I'm really excited to see the Hashira and how they fight and what happens. And I wonder if we're gonna only some of them will survive. If who else will not make it by the end of it. No spoilers. We're anime onlys. No, don't even think about commenting. Oh, wait till they get to this part. I see you typing over there.
Well, let's just disable comments now. let's do what every popular YouTuber doesn't get to disable everything.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to see what comes from Demon Slayer, regardless of how I've seen people talk about the ending. But I am looking forward to it. It is done.
Okay. You're gonna keep watching?
I'll probably keep watching because I'm enjoying how Ufotable is adapting Demon Slayer. It's very enjoyable to watch, so I'm gonna keep sticking with it for the time being. Maybe I'll read it, who knows? But for the time being,
that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I don't see a lot of talk about Demon Slayer because it ended, and you would think you would see a lot of like ending spoilers right now. I haven't seen anything, so I guess the community is doing a good job of keeping it uptight and. So far. I don't know. The fact that it ended, I would assume people are just like, oh man, it was the best thing of all time. Oh, Tanjiro, just show like a picture of Tanjiro, like disgusted. And, like, oh, did he die? I don't know.
All right. So, how about overall thoughts of the movies? You go first.
Overall thoughts. I felt like the first part on the train fight could have been cut down a little bit more. But I understand why, because they try to make it to where that was kind of the main thing, to where they distract you from the real big bad guy coming in the end. I understood all that, but the main, I use main in quotations, the fight inside the train was something that wasn't really a standout. It felt more like filler for the really big part. Could they have done it differently? I have no suggestions for doing it differently. It just got a little weird. But if I were to give like an overall score to the movie, I'd give it like probably like a 8.5 to 9 out of 10.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's not a perfect 10 to me, but that's just me being picky with just like the middle parts.
Did you cry at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, same.
No, I know why you mentioned that, because one of our friends is like cried at the part where Tanjiro was with his family, and I was just like, no, that's not that we're crying.
I mean, some people said that they cried. I didn't cry. I felt emotional, but I didn't cry.
I didn't. It's because of my really dark thoughts. You gotta kill your family, bro. Man.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so my overall thoughts for the movie. I wanted to like it more. I really did.
Wow. That's even more critical of me.
Okay, so I didn't hate the movie. I very much enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It was still a good movie. I just wanted to like it more. I think what didn't help... it was a lot of the hype. Yeah. So a lot of the hype, knowing that... it broke box office records. A lot of people were talking very highly of it, saying it was one of the best movies ever. I didn't feel that way. I thought some parts were very well animated. It was still very enjoyable. Personally, I thought it didn't need to be a movie. It could have just been a second season or the first half of a second season, because it didn't do anything to me that made it feel like it was movie worthy. Like none of the animation was different than what a TV adaptation for what ufotable did for the first season.
Yeah,
it was basically
because the ending fight in the first season with that little spider kid was like,
yeah, I mean, but it was basically the same thing. Like it didn't do anything special.
It's almost to the point we're getting desensitized to it. Like if you're gonna do a movie, it really needs to be something that stands out.
Exactly,
like, you need to break expectations.
Exactly, and something else that I didn't kind of favor was like I think this goes this is very split argument. I think a lot of people don't like certain anime movies that are tied to big series like this because they aren't canonical. But this one is canonical. It was the next part to the story. Something I didn't enjoy though is because it was canonical, it was tied to the manga, that it was so constrained within this plot. Like you had to tell everything from point A to point B within the contained story. But something like I guess we're gonna talk about One Piece again in this. So something like One Piece and like Strong World or Film Z or Gold, you have these aren't canonical storylines. I mean, it has very canonical villains or antagonists that are part of the greater world, but the story itself isn't canonical, and it gave them free reign to introduce a new setting, introduce new characters, and really just have fun with it, and really like go beyond what you could have gotten from the story because you weren't tied down to a source material. You created a story yourself, and so I feel like I don't know. I didn't really favor that. Like that's why I say it could have been the first half of the season 2. It didn't feel that special in that way. I'm sorry. Like I'm telling you, like I really wanted to like it more.
So because if it went kind of the route of One Piece, where like here's a Hashira, we're just gonna show off how amazing he is, and we fight like another band of demons that are a big problem for this area, and then that's it. And then all you do is kind of subtly hint at the big bad guy at the end with no fighting, and then we move on to
you could have introduced another sort of big demon that was fighting his way to become one of those upper demons. Like
they all want to be upper demons,
but you could have made them so absurdly strong to the point where it was similar to this. Maybe I don't give more like movie like this give a lot more character moments as long as you're following these characters like personalities and who they are as characters and stay committed to that. You're able to get more content that way. Like I feel like Demon Slayer could have benefited because it finished. You could have kept the series going as this seasonal anime and then supplemented the anime with these movies. Like My Hero did it. My Hero has all these seasons committing to the story, not having much filler, and then the movie themselves follow kind of what One Piece did, where they have these canonical antagonists, but the storyline that goes with it is not canon. Like they were able to have free reign with what they want to do with the characters and just have fun with it. And I didn't think Demon Slayer could have done that with what they did with this movie. So. Again, I enjoyed the movie, didn't love it the way that everyone else did. Personally, could have been a first half of a season 2, and I think... Pretty much
this was kind of like for something for us Demon Slayer fans to hold us over for the next season.
I guess so, yeah, you could say that. But I guess if I could give the movie a score, it'd be like 7. I don't know. No, don't hate me. I know. You're about to shut this video off or something. Don't. Keep watching.
There's nothing else. We're already done. So we got him.
But yeah, those are our thoughts on the movie. I'm sorry if you hate us because of that, or at least me.
No, don't worry. We have more spicy takes in the future when we start consuming a lot more anime.
But yeah, follow us on our social medias. We'll put it down here if you're watching on video. I guess we'll just. If you're watching or listening through Spotify or something, just follow me at 8bit.
We are on Spotify.
Follow Bacon at ATonOfBacon on Twitter and stuff, even though he doesn't really post that much. But
when I post, it's amazing posts. It's like pretty good anime I just watched.
we wanna keep doing this. I know we keep talking about that every single time we talk. It's hard. Life is busy.
Man. Life's busy, man. YouTube isn't our careers.
Yeah, it's not our careers. It doesn't make us money.
Yeah, the YouTubers that are posting every single day, it's their job to post every day. And
and then
It's a hobby for
making
us.
actual videos for like ManimeTV and stuff. It's hard, but we want to try as much as possible. I know every time we post, like I definitely see at least one. You guys aren't dead, so
Yeah, we aren't.
We aren't. It's just it's hard. It's just life.
Yeah. We have so many ideas that we really want to do. And I do have some backlog videos I do need to like edit and chomp through, but it's a lot to take on right now. And again, with less and less time to film, that's even less time to edit. If you guys haven't noticed, editing is the worst. So yeah.
Yeah, but if you enjoyed this this podcast episode, make sure you let us know down in the comments. Send us a message on Twitter or something. We want to cover more stuff too, maybe more movie type things. If you want us to talk about
movies. There's a lot more movies coming.
Yeah, there are a lot more movies, so we'll try to talk about those as those come out. You know, if there's a topic you want us to talk about, like something that we haven't talked about before, like we did a video or a podcast on you know, how we missed the old Goku and stuff, or we did one about like live action adaptations. So definitely, like, you know, suggest us some stuff to talk about because we want to talk about this stuff. But yeah, just, you know, make sure you like and favorite and subscribe. You got any last words?
Bell icon so it comes straight to your face. Is that what those cool YouTubers say? Are we YouTubers yet? Did we do
All right, close this out. Close this out.
Thank you. Oh, my.
That's it?
My.
All right.
My.
Thanks for listening, y'all. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep, the next one.
Okay. Bye.